Throughout the entire existence of FPV drones, thanks to their full control, speed and maneuverability, they have found use in completely different fields you probably wouldn't have even imagined just a few years ago. At the same time, they have been modified and refined for all kinds of purposes, from amazing cinematic flights to deadly weapons. I identified 9 main types of FPV drones, so let's take a look at all of them and figure out what makes each one unique. And let's start with the smallest type. TinyWhoops. This is the tiniest drone on our list, but its potential is absolutely huge. Compared to other drones in this video, with a TinyWhoop you can fly through the smallest gaps that seem impossible to pass. Originally, TinyWhoops were created for safe indoor flights, which is why they have prop guards, to avoid hurting people nearby and to protect the drone itself. There are even races where pilots fly these little guys through small gates in confined spaces. Typically, they come with 65 or 75mm frames and run on 1S batteries, which makes them super light. However, that also means they can struggle in the slightest wind. Of course, there are more powerful TinyWhoops running on 2S batteries, but that doesn't completely fix the issue. They can also rightfully be called the cheapest type of FPV drone. For around $100–200 you can get a new drone, which makes them the best type of FPV to try and enter the hobby if you are a beginner. In addition to TinyWhoops, I would also like to talk about Toothpicks. They are simply the same tiny drones, but without prop guards and with more fragile frame. Honestly, I have no idea what they can be used for, so if you know more about them, please write it in the comments. I would be very interested to know. However, with TinyWhoops or Toothpicks, you won't be able to take incredible cinematic footages. For that, you will need a CineWhoop, a drone that lets you to capture smooth, high-quality FPV footage even around people. Yeah, most of them also have prop guards like TinyWhoops. However, they are bigger, usually from 2 to 3.5 inches, and sometimes even up to 5 inches. They also use more powerful 3–4S batteries. The main advantages of CineWhoops are payload capacity and safety. These drones often carry an additional camera, which adds weight for the motors. But manufacturers are actively experimenting and releasing built-in, high-quality cameras, making external ones unnecessary. CineWhoops are quite an investment. Expect to spend at least $300 for a good drone, not counting the camera, which can also cost a lot. Despite their price, CineWhoops have a relatively low speed and can fly for a maximum of about 10 minutes. Also, if you use an external camera, you'll need some practice before serious flights, since the drone's maneuverability decreases. As I mentioned earlier, CineWhoops are capable of capturing genuinely good video footages. But what if we need the footage for an actual movie? CineLifters are carefully designed and assembled drones that are used in professional filmmaking. Almost always they are octocopters, meaning they have an additional 4 motors on the bottom for greater thrust, which allows them to lift large cameras and film with a quality inaccessible to other drones. However, of course, in terms of speed and maneuverability, they are even worse than CineWhoops. Speaking of maneuverability, let's talk about drones that offer not just agility, but also serious speed. Racing drones. They are designed to be as light and fast as possible. Unlike the previous types, they don't have prop guards, which gives them maximum efficiency and thrust. And while the previous drones were created for specific purposes, in this case, the purpose itself came from the very idea of having full control during an FPV flight. As you might have guessed, I'm talking about drone racing, where you must fly through all the gates at top speed, preferably without crashing. The standard size for racing drones is 5 inches, and they are powered by 4 or 6S batteries, allowing them to reach incredible speeds, which is what makes drone racing so exciting. However, high speed comes with high risk. These drones crash easily and require frequent repairs, so you have to carry a soldier in iron with you every time you go for a race. It's also worth mentioning that at many races, drones are required to have LED lighting to help the crowd and cameras see them easily. The entry price for a competitive racing drone starts from around $600. But what if we don't need extreme speed and sharp turns? Instead, we want a smooth, beautiful and satisfying flights. In that case, let me introduce Freestyle Drones. This is the type of drone most people picture when they think of FPV. And if racing drones are about speed, Freestyle Drones are all about skill and self-expression. These quadcopters are used to perform artistic and spectacular tricks, and I must admit, it looks absolutely stunning. They are similar in size to racing drones, most often 5-inch frames with 4S or 6S batteries, but their key difference is durability. Since freestyle flying often involves risky maneuvers and crashes, these frames are built much stronger to handle constant impacts. Sometimes pilots attach action cameras to capture their flights, so these drones also need to carry an extra weight. All of this makes good freestyle drones start at around 400 or more. The flight time for all the previous drones was limited to around 10 minutes. But what if we want to fly longer and farther? Long-range drones are a separate class designed not for speed or tricks, but for maximum flight time and distance. Their goal is to make long, smooth flights over large open areas, such as mountains or lakes. These drones usually have large frames, from 5 to 10 inches. They run on powerful, yet efficient 4-6S batteries, and are equipped with GPS modules for return-to-home feature in case of signal loss. Their biggest advantage is amazing flight endurance, up to 20-30 minutes per battery, and they can travel several miles away. However, that range comes at a cost. Long-range drones are slower and less agile compared to racing or freestyle models, as they prioritize efficiency over power. They are also more expensive to fly thanks to their batteries, but the drones themselves start at around $300 to $400. We have covered the main FPV drone types, but I would like to highlight two more that have recently started developing rapidly. This type isn't often discussed within the community, but I can't ignore it. Military FPV drones, also known as Kamikadze. These are designed for one-time use, and their main purpose is to deliver a payload directly to a target. They use the same 5-7-inch frames as civilian models and are powered by strong 6S batteries to provide enough lift and speed. However, their communication and video systems are often modified to resist electronic warfare. A recent innovation has taken them to the next level. Some of the drones are now equipped with fiber optic cables. This ultra-thin wire unrolls during flight, giving them unlimited range and immunity to electronic interference, since the signal travels through a physical connection instead of radio waves. And of course, I have to mention HyperSpeed drones. This is a special class built for one purpose: maximum speed. For example, this is a drone made by the Red Bull team for filming Formula 1, or the one that broke a Guinness World Record. These drones don't even look like regular FPV quadcopters. They feature radically aerodynamic designs, often resembling rockets, and their frames are made from ultra-light, durable composite materials capable of withstanding up to 6 G-forces. The Red Bull drone can reach 350 km per hour, while the record holder, built by Luke and Max Bell, can hit an insane 480 km per hour. Literally just 3 days ago, right after I finished making the voiceover for this video, the Drone Hub channel posted a video where the pilot created a drone capable of reaching 603 km per hour. While this particular flight wasn't officially ratified by the Guinness World Records Committee, you must understand that this is the absolute record speed ever achieved by a drone at the moment. It's almost 7 AM. I almost finished editing this video, and Luke Bell 1 day ago posted a video where he again broke the World Guinness record officially by accelerating drone to 576 km per hour. Please let me finish this video and then you can break any record you want. This allows these drones to keep up with race cars and capture mind-blowing footage at incredible speeds. However, they have serious downsides. Because they are focused entirely on speed, you won't be able to control them as a normal FPV drone. They are also very hard to build, and of course any crash at that speed will result in a total destruction. Essentially, these are niche, experimental machines rather than hobby drones. Now you know all the main types of FPV drones. If you gained some new information from this video, I would be grateful if you would subscribe to support the channel. Bye!